I've got a carrot growing trick that you're going to wish you knew sooner. Have you ever tried growing carrots in nice straight rows, but when they start to sprout, you realize that they're overcrowded and not very straight? Well, today I'm going to show you how to get those nice evenly spaced carrot rows. And the best part is, you're never going to have to thin your carrots again. 50 years ago, I planted my first garden, and I've learned what works and what doesn't. Stick with me, and I'll show you how to grow beautiful carrots in your garden. But first, I have something special for you. I have a short story to tell you that's related to what we're going to talk about. And then I'll show you how to sow your carrots and how to get better germination. The story is called The Smart Gardener. Here goes. Two gardeners set out to grow carrots. The first gardener, eager to get started, sprinkled his carrot seeds in what he thought were nice even rows. But when they sprouted, he realized it was just one big mess. He spent hours thinning them out. And after that, he realized they were uneven, not spaced straight, and they were very small. The second gardener, instead of sprinkling his seeds, used a special seed tape that was meant for getting perfectly spaced, nice straight rows of carrots. Imagine having perfectly spaced carrots in your garden. His garden looked great, and his yield was much bigger with much less effort. Now, the first gardener tried using the seed tape the following year, and he had the best carrot season of his lifetime, and he lived happily ever after. Because that's the way all stories should end. You see, sometimes the secret to success is just working smarter with the right tools. Seed tape is definitely the easiest way I've found to grow carrots. The problem is you're kind of stuck growing whatever variety that like the big box stores have or the place you buy them online has. Wouldn't you rather grow the nice heirloom varieties that you want to grow? Well, this seed tape will allow you to do that. Let me know what seed varieties you like to grow in the comments. I'd really like to find out. You know, I thought I saw it all. I saw one video where people are making seed tape out of toilet paper. I highly do not recommend this. First of all, toilet paper is not always organic. It has fragrance, dyes, and it can have chlorine bleach. You don't want that in your garden soil. This seed tape is made for growing vegetables. It's non-toxic, water-soluble, and biodegradable. I'll put a link in the description of the video so you can get it for yourself if you like. It's perfect for adding your own seed variety, and you can use it for your other vegetables and flowers also, so you can get those nice straight rows you've always wanted in the garden. This not only helps with the overall look of your garden, but also helps you get the most yield out of the space you have to grow. Quick disclaimer before we move on. If you do happen to purchase from our affiliate link, even though it doesn't cost you any more, we do get a small commission, which helps our channel grow. So I really, really do appreciate it. All right, gardeners, it's time to grow some carrots. Let's grab our seed tape and our seeds and start planting. My garden bed is 4 foot by 4 foot, so I'm going to have 14 strips going across. And I'm going to space my carrots 3 inches between carrots. Today we're growing some Danvers, some New Carota, and I've got some mixed color carrots from 2022. Not sure how they're going to germinate because they're older, but we're going to give them a try. So this is what the seed tape actually looks like. It has a sticky side and a side you peel off. So I'm just going to cut a piece off here and show you. Take that off. And you're going to place your seeds on the sticky part about every 3 inches. And then what you're going to do is you're going to fold this over like that. And it doesn't have to be neat. Then we're going to lay this in the garden and cover it with some screen compost and potting mix. As you can see, this bed is already prepared. This is going to be our carrot bed. But if your bed wasn't prepared, this is what you're going to do. Over the winter, with all the rain and the snow, maybe some sleet, that ground is going to get compacted. So you want to break up the soil because carrots need a nice loose soil. So you're just going to come in here and loosen that soil up. You just don't want to disturb it too much. just like that. And that's all you really need to do to your bed to loosen up that soil. The ideal soil for growing carrots is a very loose soil that's well draining. If you have clay soil, it could be a problem because imagine those carrots are growing and they hit that clay, those carrots are going to become forked and deformed, and that's what you don't want. As for fertilizer, I mend all my beds in the springtime with organic Esposa Garden Tone. Now you can use a fertilizer that you prefer. This is just the one that I use. And what I want to show you is it has an NPK ratio of 3:4:4. The 3 is for nitrogen, and that's going to give you all the nice leafy growth. And the 4 is for phosphorus. That's going to give you good root development. And that's important because we're growing roots, right? We're growing carrots. And the last number, which is 4, is for potassium, and that's going to give you overall good health for your plants. Okay, here's the thing with fertilizer for carrots. You definitely don't want to over fertilize carrots. And it's really easy to do. The reason is if you notice a lot of hairs on your carrots when you pull them out, that's because they were over fertilized. Or they may be split because they're growing too fast. Here we have our seed tape and we're ready to go. And if you look carefully, I hope you can see the seeds inside. So all we're going to do now is lay out our seed tape. And we're going to cover that seed tape with 1/4 inch of screened compost or potting mix. And I actually use my own potting mix and I mix both of them together. I like the potting mix because it has vermiculite in it and that holds on the moisture. I just wanted to show you what this screened compost looks like. That's what screened compost looks like. What we do is we get a screen like this, just take a handful and we sift that. And that's how we get that nice compost. Because you can see these big chunks, that's not going to be good for your germination. Now I planted our seeds on the seed tape 3 inches apart because I know I'm going to get good germination because these seeds are from my own seed stock. But if you have older seeds, you may want to sow them 1.5 inches apart and then go back and take out the ones you don't want later on. We're going to wet our seeds in, but because we're using seed tape, we want to make sure we use a very light mist. We don't want that seed tape moving around. What we're going to do now is create a vapor barrier because the most important thing for seedlings is not to let them dry out. A lot of times when people have germination problems, they blame it on the seeds, like their old seeds or something like that. But a lot of times they just let their seeds dry out, and unfortunately it's their own fault. Now you can lay down cardboard or a wood board, but I found something that I prefer. This is actually a painter's drop cloth I got from a big box store. And the reason I like it is because it has a plastic side and a cloth side that's white. The plastic side is going to go down on the soil, and the white side is going to go up. And what that's going to do is the plastic is going to maintain that moisture barrier, kind of like a dome would on your seedlings. And the white is going to reflect the sunlight so it doesn't overheat your seedlings. One thing I like to use is these plastic clips on my raised bed. And the reason why I like them is because they're plastic. So what you have here is this cover is not touching the soil. It's pulled tight. So it's just above the soil. And that's creating your vapor barrier. If you decide to use cardboard or wood, it will work, but sometimes like the dirt will stick to the bottom of the cardboard or the wood, and you can pull out some seedlings that way. This way the seedlings won't stick to the bottom. Also, the weight of the board can smash those seedlings down into the soil. With this, there's a little bit of room between the soil and the cover, and those seedlings can pop up without having any weight on them. So I really like this method. Your carrots will germinate between 55 and 75 degrees, and they don't need light to germinate. Also, once you do start to see sprouts, remove that cover. so that those ceilings don't get overheated. Another thing to keep in mind is if you are using cardboard or something light, you will want to weigh it down so that the wind doesn't take it away. You may be asking yourself, well, when is the best time to plant carrots in the springtime? I always plant my carrots about 2 to 3 weeks before my last frost date. Now that you know how to grow carrots the easy way, the next thing to do is to go into the description of this video, click on our link and get your own seed tape, and you'll be on your way to having great carrots in nice straight rows, and you won't have to worry about thinning them out anymore.